here for CAA football, the Blitz, as we continue.
And he may go the distance. Terrence
You're going to put yourself in a situation and win a lot of football games.
The final weekend of the CAA football regular season is here. Scott Meyer, I'm Bobby Broyles. And Scott, there's a lot to get into as we approach the final weekend of the regular season. You have been pulling some long hours, figuring out this playoff situation here, tiebreaker scenarios. Can you sum up for us everything you've been working on and what we can expect in this final weekend?
Yeah, well, it took us up until Tuesday to try to finally figure out how all of the tie-breaking scenarios work. Came up with 17 different scenarios, one of which New Hampshire clinches automatic and the outright CAA title with a win over Towson. In the event that Towson wins, a host of different scenarios present themselves, all of which we feel are 6 teams still in contention for the CAA championship. I say that 6 teams, including Old Dominion, obviously not eligible to hoist the trophy, but certainly eligible to get into the postseason. We feel those 6 teams also are still alive for postseason consideration. So a lot left to be decided here in the final week of the regular season.
Well, before we break down this weekend's critical matchups, let's take one more look back at last weekend's highlights and your players of the week.
The Tribe of William & Mary looking to pull off an upset on its short trip down I-64 to Norfolk to take on the 4th-ranked Old Dominion Monarchs. The Tribe would strike first as quarterback Michael Graham finds a wide-open Sean Ballard streaking down the middle of the field as William & Mary jumps out in front 7-0. ODU answered on the ensuing drive as quarterback Taylor Heineke hits a wide-open Nick Mayers, who takes it down the sideline for the 39-yard score to tie the game at 7. The Tribe would counterpunch on the first play of its next drive as Graham rolls out and hits Trey McBride, and McBride does the rest, taking it 72 yards for the touchdown. Tribe back on top 14-7. The Monarchs would come right back. Heineke rolling out to his left, buying all kinds of time and finds Mayers for his second score of the opening quarter. ODU would fail on its 2-point try and trail by 1. Second quarter, Antonio Vaughn back to receive the punt. He's able to break a tackle and find daylight down the sidelines. Vaughn, with a convoy out in front, takes it 70 yards for the touchdown, and ODU takes the 20-14 lead. The Monarchs now providing a little defense as Graham drops back and is picked off by Craig Wilkins, who returns it inside the Tribe 20. 2 plays later, Heineke connects with Blair Roberts in the end zone for his 3rd touchdown pass of the half. Monarchs now in control, up by 13. The Tribe would rally, though, as Graham, play action, rolls out and finds McBride in the back of the end zone for his 2nd touchdown grab of the game. Tribe have now trimmed the lead to 6. Next William & Mary drive now. It's the Graham and McBride connection once again, as McBride makes a diving catch in the end zone for his 3rd touchdown grab, and the Tribe retakes the lead heading into the half. 4th quarter, Tribe up by 4. Heineke drops back and throws his 4th touchdown pass of the game, this time to Vaughn. Monarchs back on top, 34-31. Next Old Dominion drive. This time the Monarchs get it done on the ground as running back Tyree Lee finds a hole in the Tribe defense and scores from 16 yards out to give ODU a 10-point lead. The Tribe trying to put a comeback together. Graham looking over the middle and is intercepted by Paul Morant as the Monarchs come away with 3 interceptions on the afternoon and knock off William & Mary 41-31 to improve to 9-1 on the season. Offensive Player of the Week goes to Maine running back Ricky Stevens, who racked up 179 rushing yards on 21 carries and a touchdown to help the Black Bears beat Georgia State in their home finale. Defensive Player of the Week goes to Villanova linebacker Joey Harmon, who recorded 2 sacks that were secured in the end zone for a pair of safeties to help keep Villanova very much a part of the playoff picture in a win over number 9 James Madison. Special Teams Player of the Week goes to Old Dominion punt returner Antonio Vaughn, who returned a punt 70 yards for a score that marked the longest punt return in program history and the Monarchs' first ever return for a touchdown in Old Dominion's 41-31 win over William & Mary. Rookie of the Week goes to Maine running back Nigel Jones, who rushed 13 times for 76 yards in a score to go with a 76-yard touchdown on a catch-and-run play as Maine rolled to a 51-7 win over Georgia State.
A lot at stake this weekend for so many teams. Let's get right to it, starting at high noon on many Comcast Sportsnet regional outlets. It will be the New Hampshire Wildcats hosting the Towson Tigers, a huge game to kick off Saturday's action.
This is probably the biggest game of Week 12 if you look at what Towson has to do. Towson has to win to keep its postseason hopes alive. New Hampshire wins and all those tiebreakers go out the window because New Hampshire then will be the CAA's auto bid as well as the outright league champion. Now, if Towson wins, it throws a wrench into everything for some teams, but maybe even possibly allowing other teams to earn that auto bid. And Towson obviously moves to 7-4 in what we feel is a strong 7-4 from the league office standpoint, having played two FBS teams. Possible postseason hopes still alive with a Towson win.
Then at 1:30, it is the oldest rivalry in the South as the Richmond Spiders make the short trip to Williamsburg to take on William & Mary.
A lot on the line here. Richmond obviously mathematically eliminated from the auto bid scenario, but still with a win moves to 8-3 and think that they're one of those top selections out of our league to get into the postseason. Always a tough game, a rivalry game, as you said, the oldest rivalry in the South. And William & Mary's been in a lot of games. They just have fallen. Richmond's prepared for that, and I think you're going to see a great game in Williamsburg.
It will be the Battle of the Blue in Newark as the Delaware Blue Hens will try to play spoiler as they host the Villanova Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, the spoiler is on for Delaware. They can spoil a lot of things. Villanova is still in the mix for an auto bid with a win, and a win for Villanova also makes them postseason eligible, we feel, at 8-3, and one of those surprise teams from the CAA. But yeah, Delaware in a world of hurt, but they still competed hard against Richmond and almost had a chance to win it there at the end. So look for this to also take on that rivalry feel in Delaware.
And how about we end the regular season with a bang as in-state foes will battle it out on the national stage as the 4th-ranked Old Dominion Monarchs head to Harrisonburg to take on the 13th-ranked JMU Dukes.
You talk to both of these coaches, Coach Wilder, Coach Matthews, both feel like this is the biggest game for their teams in a rivalry that really doesn't even exist. They've played one time, but so much focus on this game. James Madison not eligible for our auto bid given the scenarios, but still feels like it can get into the playoffs with a win. It'd be a huge win for them in terms of beating the number 4 team in the country. Old Dominion obviously can't hoist that trophy, but a win for them can almost guarantee them a home game in the second week of the playoffs.
Now here's a look at the rest of this weekend's action around CAA football. Remember, fans, to stay tuned to CAAfootball.com for all the latest information going on around the league as we wrap up on what has been another great regular season in CAA football.
Yeah, Week 12 ends, obviously, noon to 7. Follow all the action. CAAfootball.com will be tweeting throughout the evening and night, hoping to narrow down the selection process and wish the committee best of luck in trying to pick our teams. Hopefully, we can get as many as 4, maybe 5 in, best case scenario, but the landscape is vast this year.
For Scott Meyer, I'm Bobby Broyles. Join us next week here on the Blitz as we get you ready for some playoff football.